All
Here we
right,
go.
let's
We're
go.
live.
How
Six
you
Pack
guys?
Cinema.
Six Pack Cinema. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome.
Doing good. Feels like it's been a while since we did this, but
It's been forever.
it hasn't.
Couple
I think
weeks.
it's because last week we did it on a Saturday, and then now we're a little behind the scenes magic for y'all listening. It's actually a Monday night, not a Sunday, so it's been longer than usual.
And we didn't do a movie. We just did an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before that, we did an old movie. So we haven't been to the
There
movies
you
in a
go.
couple weeks.
There
Yeah.
you go. You just pieced it together. That's why it feels like so
All right.
long.
Yeah. Mudbound was the last one we did, right?
What one?
Mudbound, that was a good movie. No, we did something after Mudbound.
Did we?
I don't know.
Maybe not. No, we didn't. We didn't.
No, Mudbound. Fuck, that was a long time ago.
Seems forever, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're back.
All right. Well, with that, let's hop into our snap impressions. Jimmy, what do you got? What's your snap impressions of this movie?
Wanted to love it because, like we've said many episodes, In Bruges, same director. In Bruges, one of my favorite movies ever. Wanted to love it. Walked away very dissatisfied. It's not a bad movie by any means, but it is not. It's not nearly close to what I was expecting and hoping it would be, and that was very upsetting for me. So, on this podcast today, I will be talking about how this movie was not that great.
Oh, wow.
It's good, not good. Whatever. It's disappointing.
You're dead to me. Sheehan, let's redeem it. What's your snap impression?
Well, I know what he's saying. It's a little disappointing, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it was fantastic. It was an incredible movie. It could have been even better. It could have been. I'll admit that. The ending, a little sour note, but I refuse to believe that he wasn't the guy. I know that the director came out and said that he wasn't the guy. I don't care. I don't care.
That's a big problem.
That's a big
hang on,
problem. Shut up. Before we get distracted,
Sorry.
because we're going to go down this wormhole immediately, I'll give my snap impression.
All right.
I agree with Sheehan. It didn't live, like, I had outrageously high expectations. It didn't live up to them. I was expecting the next In Bruges, but it's still a fucking amazing movie on every level. So I loved it. It was good. And Sheehan, I'm sorry to say, you are wrong. He was not the guy, but he was another rapist. All right, now we can argue about this because you guys were about to tear each other's throats out.
I'm right.
No, but here's the thing.
Can I explain why I'm right? Okay,
John, here's the thing. The reason you think that he was the rapist and like they're actually going to go on this journey to track someone down, like there's going to be a sequel, that would be cool. That is not what it is. And you don't want to believe that because if you believe that, then it turns into not a great movie. And so you're just fighting, like hoping, nope, that's what it is. That's what it is because that makes this movie good. But once you realize that that rapist who came into her store and threatened her for no reason at all, just to have the audience think like, oh, that's the guy. And then they bring him back and you're like, oh, that is the guy. This is good. And then it's like, oh, wait, he wasn't. So all of that was meaningless. That's what you don't want to believe
It's not
that
meaningless.
makes it a bad movie.
The point is that life is shitty and that it, like, this stuff happens and it wasn't an isolated incident. Not just her daughter gets raped and all that. There are other people out there doing that type of stuff. And that guy was so fucked up. He was defending another person who did it. It wasn't meaningless. You're an idiot if you think it's meaningless.
It was meaningless. This was supposed to be a single story of like a crime in a town. It was
no. See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. It's not just. Let me finish this because he's wrong. It's not supposed to be that. That's what you wanted, but that's not the movie they made. So your opinion.
The first half of the movie is her trying to solve a crime and her versus the establishment that won't solve the crime. That's the first half of the movie. Once he commits suicide,
the whole movie is about her.
Dude, shut up. The whole thing.
No, you're a fucking idiot.
Dude, you need to shut the fuck up.
The whole thing shifts, and it's now we're just supposed to accept that all the troubles they gave us in the first aren't going to get answered. Like, that's what the director said. Life doesn't have answers. But you can't bill it as this crime, us versus the establishment movie and then just completely, like, this is why Sheehan doesn't want to believe that he's not the killer, because it completely rips that apart. And then now it's just about life goes on. Cool. I mean,
yeah, the movie was about coming to terms with shitty things that happen in your life. It wasn't about solving the crime.
Yeah, but you didn't know that until 45 minutes into the movie.
I'm sorry, the movie had a twist.
Can I ask you?
That's not a twist.
Can I ask, hand up, guys? Can we just chill the fuck out for 1 second? You told me that the director said that he wasn't actually the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
See, that hurts my argument. But when walking out, I didn't think, I wasn't trying to make myself think like, oh yeah, he was definitely the guy just because I wanted to. I thought it because when Abercrombie, was that the new black cop's name? When he came back and says, yeah, hey, it wasn't him. It was I talked to his commanding officer. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, I can't tell you where he was, but wink, wink, it was in the desert. That to me sounded like he was circling the wagons. It sounded like they were like just this commanding officer was vouching for a guy because he just happened to know him. It was elevating the level of corruption / laziness. That's why I thought it was good. And that's why if it would have been perfect if this fucking director just shut his mouth and didn't say that. He had a great movie, but he invalidated it. He shit on it himself. So that bothered me. In my head, without the director's comments, it's still fantastic.
It's just not the movie. It just flipped halfway through, and then like nothing mattered. Also, like so much violence, like her throwing the Molotov cocktails or whatever at the police station, and you're like, wow, this is crazy. This is so cool. And then like there's just no consequence for that at all. And this like, and then just every act of violence in the second half, there was just no consequence. He just beats up that kid, throws him outside the window. He's like dead on the street. The new sheriff comes in town who's supposed to do law and order, doesn't arrest him, doesn't do anything, doesn't call an ambulance. It was just shock value aggression.
No, you missed it. You missed it. That's the whole point of the movie. Because the cops don't do anything.
Did you watch the same movie, Jimmy?
It's a shittily run company. It's a shittily run city with the cops don't do shit. That's why people can get away with literally anything. That's why this girl is dead and burnt and raped while dying, which is terrifying. That was all part of it. Admit it. You glanced over that one. Admit it. I'll give you everything else, and you just admit that you glanced over that part.
So all of that. But that's just, what's the point then? What's the point of this movie?
They live in the Wild West, called Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, it's a shitty backwaters area to live in. That's the point.
Why they get
and they're dealing with, and it's about these individual people dealing with a trauma and getting over a trauma without the help of the system because the system has failed them.
Sure, like if that I'm not arguing that. That's what it turned out to be. I'm saying that wasn't that good. I don't care for that plot.
Okay. You don't have to.
Let's talk about the good stuff. The acting was incredible.
Let's do that.
Okay, all right. Let's go into our deep dive. Let's start with favorite. Oh, should we start with negatives so we end up on favorites? Because I feel like we're already in kind of negative.
I think we're already in knee deep with negatives.
Yeah, so let's just continue with the negatives so that we can end on a happier, more lively note because this is getting a little tense right now.
All right. Well, the midget is only in it because he's friends with the director, and that's kind of.
Hey, whoa! Don't throw the M word around here.
Yeah.
Whoa. Dwarf. Peter.
Short person. Little person.
Whatever. He's only in it because they're friends. He's in a lot of movies. And you kind of can't do that unless you can really justify the means there, and I don't think they did.
Yeah, in that kind of town, he wouldn't be just, oh, there's Peter. He'd be like, oh, he's that guy. Actually, but he was actually really
they
cool
picked on him.
Being that.
Yeah. I thought it was a great small role. Not everything has to be a big
small role.
Not everything has to be this big, like grandiose, like fit into everything. He was just another person in this town that was dealing with the trauma of living in this backwater place.
Yeah, but I agree with Jimmy here because it didn't feel right. It just didn't. Something was off about it. It was like a little bit too much of a quirk, you know. But I respect Dinklage because he's come out and said that he refuses to do roles to be a clown. Like he says, he'll only do a role if it fits for him and it doesn't require being short.
Yeah.
So he's trying.
I think there was probably
the right movie.
Yeah, I think there's probably one more scene because I will admit, I know Jimmy has said off air before that he really didn't like it because there was just there was no point to that plot. And I think there's probably one more scene with him somewhere where he gets like a full arc or whatever. He and her make up at least or something like that. I think there's something on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, it was a little off. It wasn't the worst thing, but yeah, I'll give you that.
And the 19-year-old husband's girlfriend was like just in there for shitty laughs.
Yep.
Which felt
also,
like
I not this backwaters, but I grew up in an area that I'm in South Florida. There's a lot of people who are like older guys who have like 18-year-old girlfriends. That had like a big note of realism for me. I was like, oh, I've met people like this.
But like making fun of her dumbness, it just felt like easy. Like, okay, now there's going to be a 19-year-old bimbo who's ditzy. Like we were watching How I Met Your Mother or something.
Solid show.
You're just breaking down this movie. I was so high on this, and now you're making me sad.
Also, like,
because you're right. I mean, it was stupid.
That scene where he like hits her, pins her against the wall, and then the son gets a knife and puts it to his throat, and she walks out of the bathroom. It's like, oh, am I interrupting something? It's like, oh, so let's just make light of this incredibly crazy situation. Everything was just like, here's a really, really crazy situation, and no one's really going to care. It's like, haha, isn't that so bizarre?
I felt like that was normal for them. Like that was not out of the realm of possibility for them. That exact. Well, yeah, I know, but like, up until that point, that they needed a way to break off. I guess, so it was a cheap way out, but. That family, that happened 1,000 times before. The same, they went about the business like, all right, well, I'll put the table back, I'll put the knife away.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a hiccup.
That part's cool. That part's cool, but they used the 19-year-old to like make light of it.
Yeah,
felt weird.
That's where the whole dark comedy thing comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
anything else you didn't like, Jimmy?
Yeah, newspaper kid. No ending to that storyline. No real, nothing. Girlfriend was like heavily involved. Like something was going to happen with her. They gave her like one line at the end. Like they kept escalating. You saw her, then she talked more. She brought the envelope in front of the cop. You thought something was going to happen with the girlfriend. Nothing. Whole plot line. Just more violence. Who cares?
Remind me, what was that? What girlfriend?
Yeah. What girlfriend?
She used to be in the show, HBO show Luck, Irish chick. She worked for the Billboard kid.
Oh, that was his girlfriend?
Well, yeah, she worked there.
They were like flirting with each other.
Yeah, so there's all these flirting things about them. And
once again, I see that as just like the few scenes with them is a glimpse into their own little like world and story that they're dealing with. That like just because they have a couple of scenes with this story, like you see it. You don't need to know every little thing about every character's life.
So we're just make a movie where we wrote all these storylines and all these characters, and then just.
But I don't think it's a storyline. You see two people flirting together. No, you see two people flirting together, and you're like, all right.
It escalated. It escalated. They saw just her. Then they saw like him working. Then they showed McDermott or Francis looking out the police, and then we can see into his office, and you see them, the two of them talking. It just kept going, and then it just nothing.
I think that you were looking for too much out of like just a little background quirk.
I think you're forgiving. I think you're forgiving too much of where nothing.
No, I think something happened to you when you went to go see this movie. You had like a dump in your pants. You were in a bad mood.
I suggested it. I really wanted to see it. I mean, you can't just throw things out there and then be like, "Oh, well, that's what this movie was saying. Nothing matters."
But but that is what the movie was saying. The director said that's what the movie was saying. It wasn't what you wanted the movie to be, but that's a personal thing, not what the movie is.
The director saying it doesn't excuse it. It's bad. Like if he was to say that, I would say, yes, you messed up. You should have given some of these stories endings.
I'm going to throw cold water on both of you right now. Chill out. All right, go back to your corners.
That dude is just in the hospital. It's the last time we see him.
Yeah. There was loose ends, but I, in my opinion, that was just saying like this. The glimpses of little stories going on around the small town without diving into it. They're just saying things were going on. This wasn't the only thing going on. This investigation.
That's not true because he was so tied into the whole thing.
No, he wasn't though. He wasn't really tied in.
Well, the reason he got beat up and got sent to the hospital is because of the billboards. It's not like it was just a glimpse into what's going on in his town. The billboards was the main thing of this entire movie. Everything happened because of that.
He was innocent bystander.
Sure.
He was. His job was to put something on the billboards, and then Dixon got all pissed off when the guy killed himself, and he got took it.
I'm not arguing that. It's just unresolved.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wish they showed
it is unresolved.
They should have showed him limping out of the hospital like 4 days later. Something.
And then cut to their wedding because clearly we had to get an ending to that.
Let's go on to things we like because it doesn't sound like we like this movie so far.
I fucking love this movie.
Best suicide letters ever written.
Really? Oh, dude, for real.
That scene. When I realized that that's like what was going on for like, because at first he just like puts her to sleep and you're like, oh, that was like a sweet, nice day. And then he starts like the monologue starts and I was just like, oh fuck. I teared up at that point. You guys get any tears going?
No. I liked his letter to Dixon better.
Yeah, that was a cornerstone of the movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was huge. It was the turning point for Dixon because he realized he had to stop being like such a shitty person.
Yeah, I didn't get any feels from this until the wife gave the letter to what was her hell name? I'm blanking on her fucking name.
The main
Frances McDormand.
Yeah.
When she got the letter from the wife, that's when I got. And 2 kids were in the car, and they're like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do now." That got me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. One thing I will admit I didn't like was why the fuck did she just have an Australian accent?
She was British or something, and far younger than him, and they're just like never touched on.
The age thing didn't bother me, just probably once again because I grew up in an area where that was not that weird. But the random accent in the middle of Missouri,
yeah,
I was like, nobody's moving from Australia or like England to Missouri. That's just not a thing that happens. That was the most unrealistic part of the whole movie.
I thought we were going on things you liked, guys. I thought we were going on the high notes here.
I was trying to bond with Jimmy here.
Did this movie suck?
And they had why did they all have like Southern accents?
Because it's the South.
No, Missouri.
It's the Midwest.
Yeah,
but I mean, Missouri's like the south of the like Midwest.
It's the south of the Midwest. Okay, sure. It's Middle America, man.
But that seemed like very normal accents from Missouri.
Yeah,
they just have Midwest. They just have Midwest accents. They put like a Southern twist on this whole movie. I mean, he's a non-American director, so he was probably just making what he thought. I mean, Missouri might have like Southern Missouri probably has a little Southern accent. I don't know where they were in Missouri, but they were like some of them people had like Southern accents, like the cops and shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a fake town. So it could be anywhere.
I love Rockwell, but and he didn't do bad in this role, but I just don't like him in this role because when he plays a likable guy, he's so funny and hilarious that I didn't like seeing him play an unlikable guy.
But I love.
No, I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he did bad.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. When he is likable for the whole movie, I enjoy it more. But I like that he was so hateable, and then by the end of the movie, you're like, all right, this guy's not that bad. Like we just weren't seeing things from his point of view for the first half of it.
I still thought he was pretty bad.
I think he was the real winner of this movie, for real.
Yeah, I mean, he's a horrible person. Like, he tortured black people. He's a shitty cop. But you kind of sympathize with him a little bit by the end. Like, you can, well, not sympathize, but you feel for him in some ways.
He learned his lesson. That was the most pointed letter ever, that suicide letter. I forget what he said, like, fuck. We watched it 3 weeks ago, but I had it memorized because he says, like, you got to learn to love, but to love, you gotta learn to be calm, because when you're calm, you don't get angry, and when there's no anger, you learn to like things, something like that. But it was all about, he linked being calm to loving things, and I thought that was really cool.
That was good.
I'll gotta find that letter that he wrote him. I really, really liked the wording of it.
All right. Sheehan, what about you? You liked the movie?
I did. No, I don't know anymore, you guys. You guys are like really poisoning my waters. I did like it.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. I actually really. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Weren't you asking me what I thought about it?
Well, then you just said I really like it, and you stopped talking for a second.
Yeah, that's a setup for what I'm going to talk about. I think Woody Harrelson. This is probably one of his better movies. He didn't play. He wasn't around for that long, but he was good with what he was doing. He plays a good dying father, who is also a chief of police. He nailed that role. I felt like.
Yeah, I agree with you. This was one of my favorite roles of his, if not the favorite. And I like that I had no idea that his character was going to have cancer or die or anything. They, like, all the trailers for the movie and the previews set him up as the antagonist to Francis's character. So
yeah, it was nice to see that.
Yeah.
My favorite scene was between him and Francis when he just brought her in after drilling a hole through the dentist's hand, which was fucking hilarious. That dentist scene was amazing.
That was no punishment for that, though.
That's not how we went over this, Jimmy. There is no rules, okay?
Yes, you just have to accept that there is no.
Stop bringing it back.
No, I like
the scene between those two. They were just basic interrogation. I didn't do anything wrong. Yada yada, back and forth. And then he spit up blood accidentally on her face, and it was like a flip of the switch. He became instantly vulnerable. Her guard went down to be very, very motherly. It was who they really were. Their whole facade came crashing down in that one moment, and it was great. And when he said, "I'm sorry," she says, "No, I know," and then she went and got help.
Yeah,
that was a great scene.
You can see it on her face, like you said. Yeah. Like the second the blood hits, she just switches to mother mode, and
because
that was my favorite scene too. I loved it.
She's just in this to get her daughter's name out there. She doesn't hate anyone. She really doesn't hate anybody at all. Yes. She's an angry person, and she wants justice, and she knows that she can put that inside to help this poor bastard who's literally dying in front of her and spitting up blood on her face. So that scene was top notch in my opinion.
I agree. And speaking of that, though, when he first goes to see her and he kind of drops the bomb, like, I have cancer, to get her to back up, and she's like, well, I know. I'm not going to stop this. I wouldn't put the billboards up after you die. You can't do anything then.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
And it was awesome how he paid for the second month. That was great.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was really good. That scene you're talking about, Sheehan, though, when their interrogation scene, good scene. I'm not knocking the scene at all. But from a technical standpoint, this is something I always look for. And it's kind of, maybe I'm going to ruin it for you if you start looking for it. Whenever they show like a conversation and they showed the back of her head, right? First, I thought it wasn't her because it just looked not like the back of her head for a little bit. This is the first time we saw that it was shaved.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's a part where Harrelson's delivering his lines, and you see the back side of her head, and you can just see that she's smiling and laughing. But like the regular viewer is just looking at him. But it was like, so like it was a cut scene. But it takes me out of it because I always look at their face because I know that whenever they're not showing an actor's face, they're probably hiding something. And she was just laughing while he's talking. She's not supposed to be.
See, that's a curse that you have on you right now.
Uh-huh.
And giving it to us.
No. I used to look for that stuff, but like now I don't focus on that at all. I barely focus on the actors. I follow the story.
It doesn't like ruin anything for me. It's just something I like notice when it happens. And I was like, oh, yeah. Right.
See, you're stronger than I am. I get too obsessed over little details. So if I just have to block those out to see the overall story, I'm happier. Which is
what other characters did we forget about?
I mean, the fact that you said Sam Rockwell or Dixon, you didn't really like him that much in this?
No, he said he did. He just likes him when he's happy, right? Did I understand that?
Like Rockwell in The Way Back, or when winning season, or Choke. Like when he's like lovable loser but hilarious is when I think he shines, crushing this role. But I just would much rather him be funny. And you could see him. He was sneaking funny lines into this terrible human being. And it was like, fuck, I don't want to laugh at that.
It was great though. I think this was his best. This is the best performance he's done.
Well, yeah, but maybe like a serious role, but as a comedy role, like
oh no,
I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, this is his best serious role by far, but he doesn't do many, I guess.
Yeah, he did really well. Good job. I just rather
like
if you were like, hey, you want to see this Sam Rockwell movie? I wouldn't be like, this wouldn't be what I would think of.
All right, we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
The best line in him, like you said, he sneaks little funny lines in there. When McDormand said that you're just a N-word beater, and he says that we call them people of color beating. Like it was better.
Yeah. That was great. What did you guys think? Oh,
why did they establish those two the black kid and the girl in the movie, and then like bring them back for like 3 different scenes?
Well, the black girl got arrested to show the strong arm of the police because she was an easy target.
The kid with the billboards. Then he was like, they make extras. I don't know. Just that seemed like convenient for me.
Yeah. I mean, they were forgotten about in the town because the town didn't give a shit about them. They probably weren't liked in public that much. It was a political commentary on today's world, Jimmy.
And it's also better in the beginning of the movie too, when Dixon goes and starts yelling at them as they're putting up the billboards. That's that black kid who says like, "What are you going to beat me like you beat other people?" or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So it's pretty clear that they hate him because he beats black people and tortures them. So it kind of made sense that he would hold on to the extra copy because he had to know there's no way this is going to go down okay.
No, I think that he held on that whole part. The fact that he was black and had an extra copy is irrelevant. I think you just nailed it there. At the very beginning, he was black, and they used that as a segue to introduce the fact that this guy beat black people. That's probably the only reason why he was black, or it could be he's just a good actor. He fit the role. I don't know.
Yeah, my thing is in Bruges, and if you haven't seen it, plug your ears. They have all these crazy characters, and then at the end, fat guy jumps to his death to save Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell's running away. Hitman shoots the little person who he thinks is a kid. Colin Farrell, then he has to kill himself because he did the same. And everything came together, and it was like, oh, that was so cool. This is such a good movie. And I was sitting there like, they're going to do it again. These black characters, this little person, this terrible racist, this person that was wrong, new police chief, it's all going to come together, and this ending's going to be great. And then it was just like, and I get that that's what he wanted, but it's not what I wanted. And if you were to tell me, well, we have the other version on deleted scenes, I would go watch that every single time I rewatch this movie than the ending he chose to give us.
I see we keep going back to the fact that the movie sucks. That's nice.
I like the movie. I wasn't getting in there because it's pointless to argue it anymore. I just think you just didn't like this type of movie. It wasn't what you thought the movie should be, but it's still a fantastic movie for the kind of movie he wanted to make.
It wasn't perfect. No one's saying it is. No one's saying it was a perfect movie. That's all we're saying. I'm saying I enjoyed it.
Well, I feel like we should probably skip the writers' room because
probably
it's going to be
do that.
Me going through that rant. Yeah,
I just did it.
It's going to be that rant again and again. So let's hop into you like your details, Sheehan. I was going to add a segment called Sheehan's Details. Are there any little details you noted?
Yeah, this may be a big detail. Idaho's really fucking far.
Far away, yeah.
Hop in the car and go to a bar in Missouri and then hop back home. Hey, there's no chance the guy's going to be home after being in Missouri the day after, right?
Yeah.
That was bullshit.
I'll admit that seemed kind of dumb, but they did pack clothes, so maybe they're going to stake out his. I don't know. They did have bags though, overnight bags.
I thought like they're not going anymore. I thought that's what it hinted at. Like, do you still want to kill this guy? And they both learned to live with their anger and like fix themselves, and they were like, we'll think about it on the way. And that was like the director hinting at like they're coming to terms and they're not actually going to do anything.
That's how I took it, that eventually I don't think they'll even make it all the way there. They'll turn around eventually.
So that's how That's how I left the theater, Dave, thinking that was the ending. They just came to grips with their anger. They turned the car around, went home. John over here is leaving the theater thinking they're going to drive to Idaho, track down the guy who is actually the rapist killer and get vengeance. John wanted a good movie. He just didn't realize he didn't get that.
No.
It still was a good movie. He just misunderstood it.
No, I didn't misunderstand shit. It was choose your own adventure at that point. I chose to make it a better movie.
Yeah. I wish my brain chose the same thing you did, Shane.
I altered my reality to better suit my needs. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, do we know? Yeah. Do we know what studio produced this? I'm trying to find it right now.
I do not know.
If it's an Amazon movie.
I don't think so. But while you're looking that up, Jimmy, anything else you actually really liked about the movie or anything?
No. Acting was great. Acting was great. The first half was great. Some of the dialogue was really, really bad, but the acting was really good, and the scenery was good.
You know what we didn't talk about that we need to fucking talk about? That horrible CGI deer.
Yep, that was pretty bad.
That was like, why not just get a real deer? Or you could cut out where you see the deer and you just look at her and see her talking to a deer. That would have been great because her acting in that scene was fantastic. They just had a PS2 level graphics of deer.
Yeah.
Got it. It was Fox Searchlight. FYI.
A division of Disney.
I was curious as if it was going to be Amazon because those billboards looked a lot like the Netflix logos.
Yeah, they did.
You know, I saw it a couple times. I was like, oh, I wonder what's on Netflix later. Subliminally. Do winners and losers. My little segment, huh?
Okay, let's hop into winners and losers.
Winners is wives of men who date young women. Because the guy couldn't look worse. The old guy, right?
He's got a young girlfriend.
Yeah, but she's dumb as fucking rocks. I mean, you can have a hot girlfriend, and if she's not worth it, trust me, it just sucks.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I understand that, but I also don't think he was super intelligent, so I don't think he's trying to have philosophical conversations with her.
It was a weak winner because I wanted to get to my loser, and that is reading comic books. I'm a comic book reader myself, and seeing Dixon like a dumb fuck reading the comic book at his desk really made me question myself how I look when I'm reading a comic book.
Oh no, you look like that. That's why you should do what I do, which is just read the Wikipedia pages about it.
I like the comic books, man. Is it the pretty pictures and shit? They're colorful.
I really appreciate comics, but I don't read them for the same reason that now you're thinking about it. Anytime I'd go to pick one up, I'd be like, I can't be that. Like adult man reading a comic book.
I read them when I go to bed because I mean, if I look at my phone, the LED screens keep me up at night. Just get a nice cozy comic book. Good way to go to bed, guys.
Hey, reading's reading.
Reading's reading. Cool. I'm done there.
All right. Well, should we hop into our reviews then?
Why
ratings?
Not?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, ratings. Sorry. All right. Let's hop into our ratings. Those of you listening at home know we rate things on 3 prongs. We do our popcorn, which is our entertainment scale. Did we like it? Would we rewatch it? That type of thing. Our critic score, which is looking at it through the lens of a reviewer. And then our pairings. What are we going to drink with it while we watch it again, or if we watch it again? Jimmy, just go first. Give me your critic score.
82.
All right. Fair.
Jesus. I was expecting way lower from you.
Well, we gave Mudbound like 90s, right?
I think so.
I think it came out at 91.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in comparison, 82. That seems about right for me.
Okay. Sheehan, what do you got?
I was going to go 87.
Okay.
That's what you had before the episode?
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you ask me now, I'm feeling very depressed about it.
But don't let Jimmy bully you.
I know you bullied the shit out of me today.
It's not bullying. I enlightened you to the problems that you were ignorantly blissful to.
No,
If I had to change it, I probably like right now I think I would probably like a 41 because that's how bad you made me feel about this movie.
Yeah, no. Jimmy was a negative
You can
Nancy.
change it.
You were a negative Nancy, man.
Hey man,
Go
that
with
was a
your
negative
gut.
Nancy because
You
the
like
movie
this
had a lot of
movie.
flaws.
You should
you
rate
s-
it how you want it.
Are you staying at an 87? You definitely.
No, I am. I'm 87.
All right. I am going to give it an 86.
Why do you
I
guys
liked it.
rant and rave about it and then give it 80s?
80s are good.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this is going to be our second highest reviewed movie now.
I ranted and raved about Thor, and I gave it a 72 or something like that.
Yeah.
What did we give Murder on the Orient Express? I like that more than this one.
I think 80 something, 89, 90.
Well then cool, we're good.
Yeah, no, we're on par.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right.
Comes out to an 84.
84? I can live with that.
That makes sense.
All right.
I'm going 4 stars because until the
Popcorns.
very end, 4 popcorns because until the
Right.
very end, I was watching and into it and loving it. Like I probably wouldn't rewatch it that often, but entertainment-wise, while watching, it was enjoyable and had me hooked. But I walked away very angry.
All right. Well, here's the crazy twist. I had written down 3 popcorn, but you just convinced me to up it to 4. You were right. Because I was thinking I wouldn't really rewatch this ever unless the family wanted to.
Yeah, you judge more on the rewatch. I judge more on how I liked the one watch.
Which you convinced me. I really enjoyed. I walked out of this movie loving it. I had a smile on my face. I had a great time watching it. I'm gonna go 4 popcorn. Sheehan, what about you?
Well, I mean, I was going to go 5 because I truly enjoyed it, and I know it was my own fated reality that made it that way. But I think we shouldn't state a rule that if there's 2 of one number, we should just go with that.
I don't like that rule though.
I think we do because I mean 4, because then let's say let's average the 3 of them. That says 4.3. We're going to round down because it didn't hit 4.5. So yeah.
Yeah, but you should still give it the rating you want. I'm
giving it a 5, but I think our collective one should be 4.
Yes, that works. I think
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. I like that. So pairings, what are you guys gonna drink when you rewatch this? Sheehan, what do you got?
I'm doing a tall Bud Light and a big cup of police brutality.
All right. Jimmy?
Bud Heavy, can, tall boy. It's pretty similar.
I'm going with
paper bag over it.
Of course.
Yes.
Gotta brown bag it. I am going to go with a very cheap bottle of bourbon. You just twist the cap off, take some pulls straight from that.
There you go.
Like, oh yeah, like Mac's mom.
Yes, just like her.
I always forget she's in this. Is she a person or is she just a prop?
I think that's the only character she's ever been, and that's the only character she ever will be is that woman.
They just wake her up and it's like, hey, yo, sit in this room, do your thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Glad we all agree on that.
All right. Well, that wraps up our review of 3 Billboards. If you guys didn't listen to it or didn't see it before listening to this, you're stupid. Go watch it. It's a good movie despite Jimmy's ranting and ravings. So let's hop into our weekly recommendations. What do you guys got? What have you been watching? What have you been enjoying? Jimmy, you first.
Shit, so many shows just came out, and I haven't really. I started 5 of them and haven't finished any. But fuck, I don't know. It's Christmas time. Go watch Home Alone.
Okay.
All right, fair. Sheehan, what do you got?
That's my favorite Christmas movie.
Nice. All right. I got 2 recommendations. First, go watch The Punisher on Netflix.
Yes.
If you're not a superhero guy, it's fine because this has nothing to do with superpowers. It's just a bunch of PTSD and Marines. It's really, really, really good stuff. Maybe don't binge it all in one sitting because the main character there, Frank Castle, he definitely went to the Christian Bale school of acting because it's a whole lot of like so don't sit it down and watch it all at once because you'll get real tired of that real quick. After talking with Justin last week, I started to really like zone in on stunts.
Mm-hmm.
Super obvious when you have a stuntman in there.
Oh yeah,
That's not
Really?
even the same film. It's weird.
I think that's going to be my thing, like with Jimmy noticing the back of people's heads if they're not doing the right facial expressions. That's going to be mine now, at least for a little bit, till it slips my mind.
Yeah.
But I
You
definitely
ruined that. You ruined that for me.
I was trying to spot him anytime there was stunts going on.
Mm-hmm. And another Netflix series, it was actually a Discovery series before that, Manhunt Unabomber.
Oh, is that good? It looked kind of.
I'm 2 episodes in. It's good.
I watched some of the first, and it looked kind of cable TV-ish to me.
Well, yeah, it absolutely is. It has the cable breaks. I mean, it is cable TV. You can't deny this. Why not? Paul Bettany is amazing.
Oh, he's in it? I will 1000% watch it.
He's
so underrated.
It's great
wow,
stuff.
spoiler. Spoiled it.
Jesus Christ. He's already in custody, Jimmy. it's episode. I'm only 2 episodes into it, okay? Relax. But yeah, for me it was fun because I actually followed Unabomber when I was young. When I was 10 years old. That sounds weird.
Hey man, that's stuff you shouldn't admit, I think.
Yeah, that's some pre-crime shit.
We got a Unabomber fan over here on the podcast.
Not a fan, just an enthusiast.
Let's pause that for a second because I want to give my recommendation, and then I have another segment we need to bring up.
Okay.
But my recommendation is The Disaster Artist. I saw that this past weekend, and it is fantastic. I even think if you haven't seen The Room, you should definitely watch that because it's the greatest bad movie of all time. Mm-hmm. But even if you haven't seen that, you can go to The Disaster Artist and enjoy it. I went with a friend of mine who had never seen The Room, and near the end, he was like, there's no way this is a real story. And over the credits, they show scenes from The Disaster Artist where they showed them filming against the actual scenes from The Room, and it's just perfect, like a perfect match. And if James Franco doesn't get nominated, it's a fucking travesty. Within 5 minutes, you don't think you're watching James Franco play this character. You're thinking, holy shit, that's Tommy Wiseau. So everyone go out and watch The Disaster Artist. Now back to my other segment, which is pre-crime, because you just went on a big pre-crime rant with how you're pro-Unabomber. What's up with your...
No, not pro-Unabomber.
Sorry, a fan of his work.
I'm an enthusiast of serial killers. They interest me.
Doesn't make it better. What's going on with your neighbor who took down the lights in the front of his house but left up the ones in the back?
He's pissing me off. You know what the little motherfucker did to me?
What?
It started to snow on Saturday, and he got up at 7 in the morning and started blowing the leaves off his yard. So blew them onto my yard. I got tons of leaves on my yard because I don't have time for that shit. I'm remodeling my whole fucking house. He's gonna make me look that much worse by making his yard pristine, completely clear of leaves, while mine was like a bag of shit. Like, you didn't need to just pile on top of me. He's an asshole. He's probably a serial killer. Fuck him.
Did you ask him about why he took down the lights he had put
I'm not
up?
talking to him.
No, we need answers.
No way. Don't talk to that guy.
No. You've seen the Always Sunny when they move to the suburbs?
Yeah.
Just like that. Everything my neighbors do piss me off.
That's just amazing. This is my favorite ongoing saga. Sheehan versus the suburbs.
It's gonna be real bad, dude. It's gonna be real bad. I don't have a snowblower. Apparently, my driveway, I'm not gonna exaggerate. I want to say it's probably like 150 to 200 feet long, a good amount. I don't have a snowblower. My guy at work gave me a power shovel. You know what those are? It's like a vacuum and a snowblower mixed together. It's fucking worthless. It weighs 50 pounds and it just shoots snow. Okay.
I hate shoveling.
Who likes shoveling?
I'm a weirdo. I love shoveling. Not love. I like doing menial tasks that just get me out of the house, and then I just have time to myself.
Is that right?
I don't do it enough. I only do it when I go to like visit family in Chicago and I'm helping them out. So I like it because it's kind of out of the norm. But if I had to do it every day or like every few days in the winter, I feel like I would hate it.
I just sent you a picture of my driveway. I want to see if you enjoy shoveling that shit.
The first like couple snows, I would shovel, and then it's like fuck that.
Yeah. So, anyways, this power
That
shovel.
doesn't seem that bad. You did a horrible job, but
because the power shovel sucks, Dave. And I had to string up 3 power cords to reach the end of the driveway. Didn't reach it. I still had to shovel the last 3 feet. The bad part too.
that sucks. I'm sorry, man.
I don't like shoveling.
Well, that wraps this edition of Six Pack Cinema. Guess what, guys? It's that wonderful time of year. It comes once a year. Everyone's happy. Next week, we are doing Star Wars The Last Jedi. I'm pumped. Sheehan's pumped. Jimmy is skipping the episode because he hates Star Wars. Go out, watch it with the rest of the world because everyone's going to love this movie. Talk to you guys next week.
Sounds good.
All right.
We got to do a little intro.
Yeah.
Also,
trying to find my own shoveling picture.
How about you kill the YouTube?
Ha!